As it's turned out, even though fat in the diet is not very important in terms of cancer risk, fat in the body, basically whether we're lean or overweight or obese, is turned out to make a big difference in risk of many different cancers. In fact, this is becoming close to cigarette smoking in terms of the number of cancers that are caused by overweight and obesity, in part because 2/3 of our population in the US is overweight or obese, and now smoking, fortunately, is down a little bit under 20%. So yes, fat in the body is a big issue, and particularly weight gain from, say, adolescence. The common practice in the United States is to put on a pound or two a year, and that weight gain really, by the time we're 50, can be 25, 30, 40 pounds, and that makes a big difference in cancer risk. Again, for breast cancer, for colon cancer, for pancreatic cancer, endometrial cancer, we've seen it now for liver cancer, and several other cancers as well. So this cuts across many different types of cancers, and that's why overweight and obesity is such an important factor for cancer risk, and therefore, by preventing weight gain, an opportunity for cancer prevention.
Being heavier seems to account for 20 to 35% of cancers in the United States today. There's a very, very strong relationship between being overweight and having too much body fat and risk for cancer. And now a lot of evidence also suggesting that people who are heavier are much more likely to die of cancer or have a recurrence of cancer if they've been initially diagnosed.
For breast cancer in particular, it's really the weight gain from childhood or adolescence up through the time of menopause that's particularly related to postmenopausal breast cancer risk. So avoiding or minimizing gain in weight during the younger adult years in midlife is extremely important for prevention of postmenopausal breast cancer. Fortunately, we now have enough data of people who have lost weight after menopause, and we do see that there's a substantial reduction in breast cancer risk after menopause for women who lose weight and maintain that weight loss. In terms of how weight or weight gain is related to risk of cancer, it seems to be a pretty linear relationship, that the more weight we put on, the higher our risk of postmenopausal breast cancer, and higher the risk of endometrial cancer, pancreatic cancer, colorectal cancer. Seems to be a pretty linear relationship. In terms of weight loss, our data are much less robust. We have much less data basically than we do for weight gain, mainly because the number of people who lose weight and keep it off, and the keeping it off is the key here, are relatively few. And so we don't have very precise estimates of how much weight we need to lose, but it does look like losing 10 to 20 pounds can be related to quite a substantial reduction in postmenopausal breast cancer risk, maybe as much as a 50% lower risk of breast cancer. So we don't have enough numbers to offer a very precise answer to the question of what's the optimal weight loss, but in general, it seems to be getting the closer we can get back to what we were when we were young adult, the better.